Well, last night marked Dr. Carson's first debate ever. And he is getting a lot of attention, much of it positive, due in part to moments like these.
If Hillary is the candidate, which I doubt, that would be a dream come true. But she counts on the fact that people are uninformed, the Alinsky model, taking advantage of useful idiots. Well, I just happen to believe that people are not stupid. We have the purveyors of hatred who take every single incident between people of two races and try to make a race war out of it. When I take someone to the operating room, I'm actually operating on the thing that makes them who they are. The skin doesn't make them who they are. The hair doesn't make them who they are. And it's time for us to move beyond that because, well, I haven't said anything about me being the only one to do anything, so let me try that. I'm the only one to separate Siamese twins. The only one to operate on babies while they were still in the mother's womb. The only one to take out half of a brain, although you would think if you go to Washington that someone had beat me to it.
Joining me now, retired pediatric neurosurgeon, Dr. Ben Carson. Doctor, great to see you. Thank you so much for coming back on the show tonight. And so, what did you think about your own performance at last night's debate?
I was very pleased with it. Obviously, there was a lot of things to talk about and a lot of people there to try to talk about with them, so it makes it a little difficult.
What did you think of the other candidates? Who stood out to you?
Well, I thought they were all pretty good. I was a little bit taken aback by the sharp exchange between Governor Christie and Senator Paul. That was a little surprising.
How so?
Well, I really thought that perhaps the lesson had been learned that we shouldn't be trying to tear each other down. I thought that lesson was learned during the 2012 campaign, but apparently it was not.
You had a huge night on Facebook and online where you amassed thousands and thousands of new followers on Twitter and people following you on Facebook. Do you feel like you did as well?
250,000.
It's incredible.
250,000 new ones, yeah.
Do you feel like you did as well on the debate stage? I mean, that was something that you haven't, unlike these other guys, you haven't done that before. You and Donald Trump are newcomers to the political scene in that way.
Yeah, it's good training, and I'll be even more ready for the next one. But, the good thing is, in the meantime, I'm hoping that more people will begin to ask me, about foreign policy and about economic policy, not just about medical things and just about racial things. I think that'll be a very good thing.
Although your stuff on medical policy last night, your line was terrific and was really one of the lines of the night about the half of a brain, taking out half a brain and talking about what you had done that the others had not. On that subject, we began the debate. Each of us moderators had candidates that we were going to ask electability questions of, and I had you among others, and I asked you about certain things that you had said and so on. But speak to that issue. You really have been studying up. But how do you do it? How does one study up on foreign policy to the point where you become facile with it and you feel like you can really step into that role of commander-in-chief?
Well, someone like me who has had to acquire enormous amounts of information over relatively short periods of time, it's not that difficult. You just give me the material. So I asked people, what is the stuff that I need to know? And they gave it to me. And then I had an opportunity to talk to a lot of people who were experts in those areas, not just a couple of times, but many times, and going into deep discussions. And, that's how you learn about anything. And some people like to think that this is something you can only acquire after years and years of political experience. But I hate to bust their bubble, but it really is not that tough to acquire this information.
What did you make of Donald? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, not to mention the fact that you have the ability to surround yourself with people who have lived this stuff their entire lives. And what becomes really important is your judgment. The wisdom that you have to be able to utilize the information in a proper way. There are so many people in Washington who've been there for decades and they don't seem to have very good judgment. And if you look at all the experience of people in Congress, it's almost 9,000 years, and where has it gotten us?
Last question, Dr. Carson. What do you make of Donald Trump saying he would not support the eventual nominee necessarily?
I am very hopeful that he will reconsider that and recognize that if he decides to run a third-party campaign, he basically will be giving the election to the progressives, who will get 2 or 3 Supreme Court picks, and his empire will collapse.
Way to put it in economic terms that he would listen to. Dr. Carson, it's great to see you.
You too. Thank you, Megyn.
All the best to you.